Welcome to Joe Stunner Boxing. Moses Itauma annihilates Dillian Whyte in just under 2 minutes. First round. There isn't a great deal to say, is there? I mean, he was kept waiting. Moses was. He came out first, and Dillian kept him waiting for, they said, about 6 or so minutes. He came out to the Jaws music. Dillian, the 50th anniversary of that particular film, which is a masterpiece if you haven't seen it. We all know that Dillian got himself into big, great fighting shape, lost a lot of weight. And to start with, he looked kind of industrious, firing the jab out. Moses is a southpaw, Dillian orthodox. Dillian, we know, has got very long arms for his height, and you could see it. But none of this remotely perturbed the 20-year-old Moses Itauma, who is one of those, talents that you don't see many of these talents around. You really don't. I mean, they call them generational talents, and as soon as, which didn't take long, but as soon as Itauma had found a nice range, got his feet positioned well, you could just tell that the kid was so relaxed, so poised, that he seemed to think, well, okay, why wait? Let's go to work now. He started his own jab, which was catching Dillian, and then he hung a left hook off, he's a southpaw. He hung a right hook off it at one point, which looked kind of ominous, and then he started to fire combinations. And it was his footwork, the way he held because Dillian's never had great footwork. Dillian is kind of slow-footed, a little bit clumsy. And I've always said in my videos that boxing contests are won with the feet as much as the fists. And this was a prime example of it. Moses' footwork was perfect. He was poised and planted, always perfectly, the perfect distance to fire his long punches. He got Dillian by the ropes. There was a hook to the head that landed on the temple that clearly buzzed Dillian. I mean, he swayed back into the ropes, and then Moses just went to work. And it was, body to head to body. Again, not smothering his own work. He almost instinctively knows which punches to throw. And I'm not talking single punches. He knows which combinations are going to work. He is like that chess player, that genius chess player who can see 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 punches ahead. And Dillian was covering up high guard, trying to slide along the ropes. He got done. He sort of staggered into one of the corners, I think. Don't ask me which punch landed because there were so many of them. And then he was basically getting beaten up on the ropes. Again, he couldn't fire anything back because Moses' footwork was too good. And then Moses landed an almighty right hook, which sent Dillian skidding along into the opposing corner along the ropes, and he fell onto his side. He got up. He was wobbling all over the place, not entirely unlike when Fury knocked him out with that uppercut and he got up. And the referee called it off, and Dillian was, incandescent with rage. He wanted to carry on. Of course he did. He's a fighting man. No one wants to go out in a round in a couple of minutes. But this kid's special. This kid's very, very good. They're talking, afterwards they interviewed him. He was very respectful towards Dillian Whyte. He thanked everyone. This was over in Riyadh. He thanked the English fans for travelling. And but they were asking, who do you want to face next? He said, whoever you put in front of me. But the crowd were chanting, Usyk's name. All right. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen. Talk about different generations. Obviously, Moses is virtually a different generation to most of the top 10 heavyweights because a lot of them are in their 30s. But Dillian, what is he, 37 now, Dillian? Usyk's 38. Let's just put it this way. Alexander Usyk is a very different proposition to Dillian Whyte. But the fact that you can see a scenario where Dillian could beat Alexander Usyk tells you all you need to know about this kid. I think, in my opinion, I wouldn't put him in with Usyk, certainly not yet. I mean, this is his 8th first-round knockout in 13 wins. He still lacks experience. We still don't know about his gas tank. We still don't know about his chin. We know that he's got great skills. We know that he handles the big occasion perfectly. But there are too many questions to sling him in with a truly great fighter like Usyk yet, for me personally. Does that mean he can't win? Well, of course you can win. You know, a guy with that natural talent can win. He might catch Usyk early and chin him and knock him out. You just don't know what's going to happen. But why take the risk? Why not? You know, I mean, he beat the crap out of Dillian Whyte. The moment he tagged Dillian with that shot to the temple, Dillian was hanging on the ropes, trying to rock and roll out of trouble. And Moses just kept stepping back, resetting himself, firing, 4, 5, 6 punch combinations. Eventually he got the right hook in. Down goes Dillian. But can you see that happening with Usyk? It's not impossible, because nothing's impossible. But why put him in with Usyk now? Why not put him in with some of his other contemporaries, some other top tenors? Let him. Don't hurry the kid. It's like when they were talking about him beating Mike Tyson's record. Who gives a fuck about Mike Tyson's record? Why bother with that crap? Let him be himself. Let him have his own journey, his own pathway. Let him develop and evolve at his own pace. So I would put him in with others. I like watching the kid, though. This is some talented boy, I tell you. 20 years of age. Jesus Christ. And yeah, that's all she wrote. For Dillian Whyte, it's probably the end at world level. I mean, who's going to want to fight him now? Let's say you're Anthony Joshua and you come back and you fight Dillian and he takes you the distance, or he takes you into the later rounds. It looks bad because Moses has done him in a round. It was a real calculated gamble for Dillian Whyte to take on Moses, and it did not work, I'm afraid. It just didn't work. So it's probably the end for Dillian. Some would say it's poetic justice for those failed PED tests, but as if I would ever be that bitter. Let me know what you think of this. Comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you know, and hit the like button if you like the video, because it's your channel as much as mine. But just how good do you think Moses Itauma is? I want to hear your opinions. And how would you bring him on next? Who would be the next opponent for Moses? Give me some names. Let me know what you think. All right. Thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen. It was short and sweet. Very short and very sweet. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye for now.